Hey guys, welcome back to Cheap Guitar Reviews. I'm Cody. Up today, the Ibanez GRG121 or GIO120. It's a pretty cool guitar and I got a great deal on this one. I've been looking at them for a while online back when they were $199. I think they're $229 now. And I wanted a blue one. I mean, it's a cool guitar. It's got binding on it. It's got a 5-way switch. It is a rocking machine. Anyway, I wanted a blue one, but didn't want to come off the $199. I was waiting for a stupid deal of the day or maybe a coupon that I never got. But this one came up on Guitar Center's website used. No picture, sight unseen. I knew I wanted one, and it was at the Guitar Center in Beaumont, Texas. So I called the guy, called and talked to a guy there, asked him about it, and he said, well, yeah, we have it. It's got some dings, got some scratches, and the 5-way switch is shot. But I thought, well, I can put a 5-way switch in it, not knowing how weird these 5-way switches are for these guitars. But when I got the guitar in, there was really nothing wrong with the 5-way switch. It was dirty. I cleaned it up, worked it out, and it's been fine. I set the action on it, set the intonation. What's crazy about this guitar is I could get the action on this thing as low, I mean to where just the weight of your finger was fretting it. It was amazing once I got it set up. Now, I realize that you can have the same guitar come out of the same factory back to back and one of them be an absolute lemon, the other one be stellar. This one turned out to be pretty stellar, even used. Yes, it was beat up. Yes, it was banged. Obviously, it had been played. There's some pretty good fret wear on it, but there's a lot of life left in the frets. I probably will go back over and polish them again a little more. I didn't need this guitar. I no longer play the kind of music that this guitar is built for, but it was just kind of a vanity buy. So I bought it sight unseen. I love the reverse headstock on it. Love the binding on it. Again, I would preferred it in blue, but white's nice. It came without the truss rod cover or the whammy bar, but I got it for a steal, an absolute steal, and am very, very pleased with it. I'll get into some more about the actual guitar and how I came about liking Ibanez and wanting an Ibanez later in the video. I will say this. I fell in love with the Wizard neck, and this is not one of those Wizard necks that you're going to find on like an RG550 or even a 350. It is plenty flat and it is plenty wide, but it's got more thickness to it than the Wizard neck. So anyway, I'm going to go through some clean sounds because there is an issue with the actual switching on the guitar, and I'll show you what it is. We'll start clean on the bridge pickup. Just, by the way, little chorus, little reverb. Okay, now the middle position. By the way, that was the bridge pickup. Okay, now the middle position. And now the neck position. Okay, now the positions in between, what we'll call the second position and the fourth position. So this is the second position, And I'm not real sure how these are divided up. I'm not sure if it's split coils to the insides or the outsides. I'm sure you can look it up, but it is a completely different sound. A sound I really like, but the volume drops off considerably in this second and fourth position. So this is the second position, same progression. And now the fourth position, same progression. Okay, so that's the clean sound on this, and I am duly impressed. These pickups are super okay. Obviously, they're not great pickups for a $200 guitar, sub $200 guitar. Really, really nice sounding pickups, again, just for what they are. I'm going to go through some dirty sounds with you now. I am on the metal setting. I'm going to leave a little chorus and reverb on it, but I'm going to have to turn it down because obviously it's a little much. So turning the effects level way down. I'll turn it down a little more. Okay, that's a little better. Now these pickups are somewhat noisy. Obviously they're not DiMarzios or PAFs. These are, I think Ibanez calls these power sound pickups maybe, but they're definitely cheap. But not bad. So here it is, dirty. That was the bridge pickup. Now, middle position. The neck pickup. Okay, now we're going to go to position what I call 2. So I'm not sure again where that splits the pickups, but again, huge volume drop. And now position 4. Oh, by the way, you can hear the noise on position 4. So there you have the 5 different positions on it. Again, I got this guitar for, I consider it next to nothing. After shipping, it was right at $100. And again, they said the switch was wanky on it, and all I needed to do was really work it out, spray some cleaner in there, dust out the entire cavity. It looked like the guitar had been sitting up for quite some time, and I imagine what happened is someone had this sitting in the corner for a while, maybe in the garage or something, and then traded it in at Guitar Center for something better. Hopefully something better. I did have to do a little nut work on it, and I'm going to have to do some more nut work. Not that it needs it, because it plays fantastically just as it is. I mean, it just plays like a dream. And again, you could lower the action to almost nothing before it started fretting out. The neck was nice, the relief was good. I didn't have to do much adjusting on it. Not much adjusting on the bridge other than to lower the action, which I probably, for my taste, probably need to pick it up just a hair from where it is right now. But I love that grindy sound that it gets. It seems ultra metal to me, so I really like that. The guitar is light, and man, I have to tell you, if I had a guitar like this when I first started, if someone handed me a guitar that played and sounded like this one does 30 years ago, okay, 35 years ago, I probably might have been a guitarist, because this guitar really does excel. Clean, it sounds good. Dirty, it sounds good, especially for a sub $200 guitar, which again, I think now they go for $229, something like that. And I think even at $229, it's a good deal. For you shredders, it does have this nice carve on the back, the neck joint, so it's easy to access the higher frets. I mean, super easy. Anyway, guys, the action is really nice. It's not a wizard neck, but it's still a decent neck anyway. It was easy to adjust. The action can be set ridiculously low on this thing. If you're a shredder and a really light player, you can get this thing down to just millimeters off the frets, and it didn't fret out anywhere. I'll probably polish the frets a little more, but they're nice. They're fine as they are. Again, if I got this as a first guitar, I would have been super, super happy with it. The pickups are very, very, very okay. And that's it. I mean, if it was going to be my primary guitar, I would definitely change the pickups in it. I'm not sure to what. Maybe some old school DiMarzio super distortion types or something like that. But man, really nice guitar for sub $200, and I guess $229 now. Okay, so why I wanted this guitar. This guitar was truly a vanity buy. Most of the stuff that I play now is Americana, almost country stuff, singer-songwriter type stuff, but I love pulling out a guitar and just rocking out. And this guitar, with the reverse headstock, the binding, the 2 pickups, the 5-way switch, man, when I want to rock out, it is the guitar. I thought about selling it just because I don't play the type of music that this guitar is built for, but man, for the price, it can sit in my closet, and whenever I want to jam out, I'll just pull it out and play it. The reason I got it is because when I was about 12 years old, maybe 12 years old, 13 at tops, there was a local guy who played a BC Rich Warlock through a Marshall Plexi in, eventually, I'm not sure if he had them at the time, but eventually he went to those half rack mount unit Schultz Rockman modules. The guy played all the Iron Maiden, the Randy Rhoads, the Eddie Van Halen. I mean, to me, he was the guy. And he played a BC Rich Warlock, which I thought was the coolest guitar that ever existed. After I knew him for maybe 3 or 4 years, he went to Ibanez, and I went, oh, BC Rich Warlock isn't the coolest guitar ever. It's an Ibanez. But he had a high-end Ibanez. Now, another friend about that time, one of my best friends, got an RG. I think it was a 350, but it may have been in the 500 series. But that was the first time I actually played a guitar with a wizard neck on it. And, oh, I loved it. Flat, wide. I thought, why don't all guitars companies make necks like this? But anyway, I fell in love with that wizard neck. The closest thing that I could get to it that I could afford was a GTX, if you guys remember those guitars. I think it was a 32 or 33, but it had a nice flat wide neck on it. It was made by Command Music. I think they did Applause and some others. And it was 2 singles and a humbucker with a knockoff Floyd Rose on it. And that was my first experience with a Floyd Rose and having to set one up. And it was a nightmare for me at the time, being a young teenager. But it was all I could afford, and it was a cool guitar. It sounded metal, I could rock out on it, could play my favorite Def Leppard and stuff. So it was a cool guitar. But slowly I got away from them and realized I needed better guitars and started getting into quote-unquote real guitars. I want to say My next real guitar was probably an Epiphone, high-end Epiphone. So if you guys remember what a GTX guitar is, an Applause made by Command, you know, they were kind of an Ibanez / Jackson knockoff, very microphonic pickups, but that was the first guitar that I could afford that was in that style. So when this one came along, I thought, you know, I want one of these. I love the reverse headstock, love the look of it. I just wanted one. And again, when my buddy got one and I just fell in love with it, I had to get one close. So now that I'm old, and again, this one came along for less than what I paid for the GTX back in 1980, whatever it was. You know, I just had to have one. I had to put one in my collection. I love cheap guitars, started on cheap guitars. Maybe it was the GTX that got me hooked on cheap guitars, but at any rate, so if this were my first guitar, I'd have probably been a guitarist. Like and subscribe so you don't miss any videos, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.